What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY in the overall markets. I'm going to break down what's going on with the economic calendar moving forward, and how the market's looking thus far, in my personal opinion. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Anyways, so Tesla's trying to hold above its 50 EMA at this 418 area. As long as you hold above this, there's going to be an attempt to push higher. However, if we end up losing the support, we're going to be looking for 418 and then 412. So I'll talk about these key levels in just a minute and what Tesla's going to likely do alongside the markets. Now, I'm seeing some headlines coming out that Tesla has posted record Chinese sales. Just know that even though their overall sales for Q4 were not meeting all expectations, their Chinese sales were still very strong. And on top of that, there are headlines saying that this year is going to be very tough because competition is continuing to heat up. But despite that, I still think that there's going to be very, very high demand in China. And even during hard times, we're going to continue to see that as time goes on. So I think the Chinese market is still very good, especially because with all the hardships that happened last year with higher interest rates and such, we're still seeing the annual sales up about 8.8% to a record of about 657,000 cars in 2024. That's a good piece of news for Tesla. On top of that, Tesla dumped really hard after their deliveries report came out, and it is due for a small bounce. I think that that's what's going to perpetuate as time goes on. Now, for today, it is Monday, the first Monday of 2025. It's Monday, January 6th. Just know that for today at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the S&P Global Composite PMI report. So look for some volatility when this data comes out. Then at 11:30 a.m., we have the 3 and 6 month bill auctions. So look for volatility as well at that time. But the main time is 9:45 a.m. Watch and see what that leads to. For now, futures are looking like they're trying to rebound. Same thing with the S&P 500, many other stocks out there. The market is trying to rebound, so we're going to see how this continues. We're also starting to see a lot of semiconductors, continuing to grow. Semiconductors are seeing a bounce right now, especially as we're seeing Nvidia and AMD holding up quite well. Besides that, there's nothing else that's too crazy I'm seeing on the news. So I just wanted to focus on the charts in just a minute. For earnings, this is the last thing. There's nothing coming out after market close. Going into tomorrow, these are going to be the earnings to watch for. So if in case you guys want to play them, you guys could take a screenshot of this picture right here. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Now let's just focus on what's happening from this point on. So for Tesla, right, we want to see if this could hold 418.56. As long as you hold above this, I think we're going to be attempting to go back up towards not only 420, but also all the way up to about the 425 area. I want to call out that on the daily time frame for Tesla, we have this gap up here to fill. So if we manage to get back above 425, that's going to be our next target. We have a gap to fill back up to about 432. If we can't hold 420 at the very least, we're looking for 418, then back down to 412. And if that fails us, we turn right back down to 402. Overall, watch for a test of about 420 and then eventually back up towards 425. If we break 425, we're looking for the 430s. I think there's potential for Tesla to try to push a little bit higher from here. There are buyers defending it. So watch and see if we can try to get back up to 425 and break it. Then we could turn even more bullish. So far, we're doing a good job. As for SPY, I just want to say that there is this like left shoulder here, right? There's the head and then there's the right shoulder. We're going to see if SPY is going to truly, see this play out or if this is going to be invalidated. So please keep that in mind. Is this going to be invalidated? Are we going to break out past resistance? If we break past 602, we're going to invalidate this, and this is going to start pushing for like 607 all over again and back up to new all-time highs. If we fail, and we hit resistance and we fail, then we could still turn back down. So for now, what I see SPY doing is we're going to push higher for 598, and if 598 breaks, I think we're looking for 600, which is where this imbalance is. Eventually 602 above that. I think we are going to be going up to 598, which is where the first resistance is, and maybe almost to about 600. But then we'll see if we get a rejection near the low 600s or not. That's going to be a tough resistance. I do see us pushing a bit higher though, so watch for upside. We could still push a couple more points to get closer to about 600. 598 at the very least. Then we'll see if we get a rejection back down to fill this gap, and if we end up coming back down to this pennant, or if we break out or not. So look for more upside and see what the reaction happens to be. On ES, I predicted this would bounce more, and as you can see, it's up 0.78%. Despite the fact that there's this head and shoulders we're trying to push, we're testing 60.36 as our resistance to 4-hour 200 EMA. If we manage to break this, we're looking for an attempt to get back up to about the 6060s. If we reject here, we're looking for a move back down to 6,000. If that fails us, we dump back down. So watch to see if we break resistance and start pushing up even higher to about the 6060s, and we'll see how this ends up moving as time goes on. There is this head and shoulders, so please be very careful, but I do see some upside potential if we break 60.36, and I think this could try to push a little bit more from here. For Nvidia looks more bullish. We have a nice inverse head and shoulders right here that's being developed. I think this easily goes up to 150, and we'll have to see if we break that to go up to 152. If we lose 148, look for 145. 146 is the main support. That's where this previous resistance becoming support is at 146. But I think the chart still looks bullish for 150 and 152 as our targets. So it still favors upside in my opinion. Bitcoin is going close to 100,000 exactly as we predicted yesterday. Watch for it test 100,000, see if we break it to go even higher for 102,000 plus. So watch and see how it responds, but it's doing a good job so far. For NQ, we have this trend line we're going to be testing, so watch for this resistance right here at 21,800. If we break this, we're going up to about 22,000, a little bit under that. If we reject, we're looking for 21,500 as our main support. If that fails us, we dip back down to about 21,250. This is favoring upside, and I think we could get closer to about 22,000. So overall, we look a bit more bullish. The QQQ is also technically on a downtrend, but look at this resistance at this 525 area. If we break that, we're going to be looking for an attempt to get back up to about 528. So watch this resistance. I think the QQQ could be pushing for 525. If that breaks, we look for 528 plus, and we could try to see a breakout, which could take this into another rally that could be continuing from here. If we lose 520, we're looking for 518, then 515 as our supports. But this is favoring not only 525, but potentially like 528 or above. So I think we're doing a good job so far. For Apple has this main support right here around 242. As long as we hold this, we're looking for an attempt to get back up to 246. If we lose support here at 240, we're going to be dumping back down to about 238 or below. So I think this is favoring 246, then 247.6 as our potential resistance areas. So I want to see how this goes, at least moving forward. For other stocks such as Palantir had that potential cup and handle structure. We're going to be looking for a retest of about 78 to 77.17. We might be coming down a bit, and we'll see if we bounce off that and try to surpass 80. So it does have potential for the setup to pan out. Might be a small dip because of negative news before it tries to rebound, so just keep that in mind. For the Russell, we are going to be likely testing 228 to 200 EMA. If we break this, we push to about 230. If we reject off that, we're coming back down to 224. So keep those levels in mind. Coinbase looks a bit more bullish thanks to Bitcoin. We got to hold. We do have this gap to fill, so we'll see if we could hold above 280 to start pumping for 284, then eventually the 288 area. But if we reject and we don't hold 280, we're looking for a move back down to 274, and then if we lose 278, I think there's going to be a risk of us coming down to fill the gap at like 272 before it tries to bounce. This does have potential to push, but I'm a little bit apprehensive here with this gap. We'll see if we come down to fill the gap first and start bouncing, or if we just break out straight up from here. For Amazon, we look more bullish, looking for 228 as our target. If that breaks, we're looking for 230. As long as we don't lose 223, we favor upside. Meta looks a bit more bullish. As long as you hold 610, we're looking for an attempt to fill this imbalance, forming a double bottom. So this could be attempting to get back up to about 622. If we lose 609, we're looking for a dip to 601, but this is favoring upside quite nicely. Microsoft looks like it wants to go up to about 430. As long as we don't lose 425 to fill the gap to 424.5, we're favoring a push for 430. So look for 428 and 430 as our targets. Also, we're looking bullish. We're attempting to get up to about 198. So I think this is favoring upside for 198. I think we're doing a good job as well. Google, as long as we don't lose 193, we favor upside. Anyways, I just want to say the VIX has these gaps to fill below as the market pumps more. And this is exactly what I said in my previous videos. The market was trying to reverse. So far, Tesla hit my target of hitting 420 already, but we're going to be watching to see if we can surpass 425 next. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening, and peace out.